this path that I'm on, this road that I'm on, the path never ends. As it continues, all these outside things keep, I want to say, let's say it's foliage, grass, whatever you want to call it, is encroaching upon this path. Things get in your way. You try jumping over this big rock or crawling over a rock. Oh, got to get down the path. I'm moving forward. I got to move forward. I can't look back. I can't, doesn't matter. Now a log falls, now a tree. Now something else happens, you know. Oh, now it's raining. Now, you know, something keeps on happening for you, right? Gets dark. You don't see, oh, the sun's way over there. The dark clouds are coming in. You know, that's kind of how I'm feeling sometimes, right? You feel distant from people. You're locked in your house. People are so scared to shake hands, to touch a bag. People who are so scared of COVID where they're wearing goggles and masks and face shields and gloves, and they don't want you to come in 10 feet, let alone 6. Sometimes I think we're doing fine and that things are getting better. Then something tragic will happen. I've got a nephew who's in the police department, and he feels every day his life is in danger, but yet he wants to protect and serve. How do you manage when people hate you just because of what you're doing? That's a very difficult thing to hear my nephew say that. In my life, and when the negative things happen, I tend to go to the far extreme negative so I can plan. We are told not to show our feelings. We're told you need to be strong. You need to do everything that you can, provide for your family, put your head down, just move forward. You know, stop having these type of feelings that are out there, you know, push them down deep. As I've gotten older, I've learned to listen more, understand. I'm definitely able to communicate better now than when I did before. It's very good to have a core group of people that you can count on, whether that's family or whether that's friends or whether that's outside of that group, because maybe that core group is not willing to listen or willing to let you open up, you know, without the mocking or without the, I guess, disease that's going to be there, right? You really got to have the core group of people that maybe they feel the same way as you, but you know, you take a chance in talking about it. Oh, you feel the same way as I do? Oh, I think it's made me a better communicator. Yeah, things are going to happen. You got to make a way, right? What do I need to do? I need to cut down that tree. I need to make a path. Oh, I need to cut down that foliage, get it out of there. Yeah, okay, dark clouds are coming, but you know, I can have my umbrella. You're taking those tools that you didn't have before or that you forgot about. The path is going to be there. No point in looking backwards. Where are you going to go? It's already lived. Time is gone. Going forward, you got to live your life. Better things are coming, and in the future, in the distance, you can see that sunlight. Make that path more clear. Stuff's always going to happen. Stuff's always going to get in your way. But if you know how to navigate it, it's going to get better.
Although we seem to be relaxing some when it comes to our situation with the pandemic, for a while it seemed there'd never be a light at the end of this emotional tunnel. Beth Peterson joins us from Christian Care Connection to make some sense of our emotions and attitudes over the past year. Good morning, Beth. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So we just heard Chris's story, and Chris was talking about feeling like he's on a path and he just kept getting bombarded with obstacles. Trees would fall, foliage would be in the way. That seemed like a pretty good description of what this past year has been like for many of us.
Exactly. And that's what we're seeing so much of the time at Milan Christian Counseling. You know, every client that comes in has their own experience of this. Over the past 14 months, we have experienced crisis after crisis after crisis. We've had the start of the pandemic, and then we had racial tensions in the summer, and we had a second wave in the fall, and the elections, and the insurrection, and a third wave. And we've just had so many things bombarding us. And from a disaster mental health standpoint, when a crisis hits, typically we come together with a bit of community cohesion. We saw this after 9/11. We felt this sense of unity. And then after that, there tends to be a dip into emotional lows, and people experience emotional distress. And what we have seen over the past year is that we have not been able to resolve that emotional distress. There's been a lot of finger pointing, and then we've gone right back to the beginning where there's another crisis and another.
Yeah, it's just been one thing after the other, but it sounds like Chris has found a way to kind of clear his path a little bit. Talk a little bit about some of the tools that we can use to help us get through this and clear that path.
Absolutely. I heard Chris talking about social support, and that is the #1 factor for people to be able to develop resilience and to overcome trauma and distress. So whatever he can do, whatever people can do to develop that social connection, whether it's a small group at your church or reaching out to an old friend or connecting with a family member that you haven't spoken with for a while, that is absolutely essential. And then learning how to have those conversations with people who may not agree with you necessarily in your viewpoints. We need to learn how to have those conversations without engaging in defensiveness. So taking a moment to just take a few deep breaths and to reflect what you're hearing them say can be just so beneficial. Getting good exercise, sleep, nutrition.
That all helps. You know, he also mentioned being able to open up and talk more.
Yes, absolutely. Having that release, having a place where you can discuss with somebody the dis-ease that you are experiencing. One of the things that I have my clients do quite frequently is to have somebody that they touch base with every day. And if they don't have that person, to write it in a journal. Talk about what was the challenge of that day. Get it out there. It's very cathartic just to be able to release that. But then follow that up with what were the good points of the day? What were the highlights of the day? End on that note and start thinking about those things with a sense of gratitude, with a sense of optimism. That's another very high indicator that somebody is going to be able to develop resilience and overcome distress, as if they are able to hold on to some optimism.
Yeah, I really like that, as you said, kind of write it down, because as he mentioned too, he started just being negative and preparing for that. He said, you know, kind of thinking about the worst case scenarios and preparing for them like it was going to happen. But that negativity in our brain can really be overwhelming. So to, at the end of the day, be able to jot that down in our journal or talk to somebody and say, but these are the good things that happened today. That could be really helpful.
Exactly. And that will, you know, fire those other parts of your brain rather than the deep limbic system alarm system of fight, flight, or freeze.
Right.
So it's good. It's good to end on that note.
Very good. Beth, thank you so much for your tips this morning. We appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yep,
Thank you for
take
having
care.
me.
Absolutely. Well, again, we want to help. If you're feeling uneasy about things, you're not alone, where you just need to talk to a friend or you've reached your tipping point. Text wellness or resources to 419-248-1100 to get connected to those who can help you.